Hi everyone, so even though it's very early in January, I'm here with part 1 of my January book haul. So far in the past 2 weeks since the start of January, I've acquired quite a lot of books and it's a lot, and I need to get part of this book haul out of the way just now because I know I'm going to buy quite a few more books by the end of the month, and if I wait any longer this book haul is going to be far too long and it's going to take forever to film. So I'm going to split the books I've got just now into 2 parts. So if I get any more books after those 2 parts, that'll be part 3 of my January book haul. So yeah, part 1 in this book haul is going to be all the physical books I've acquired since the start of the year, and part 2 is going to include all of the ebooks I've bought, all of the library books I've gotten, and all the review books that I've received. I do apologise if you can't hear me very well, but I have a really bad cold and it's affecting my voice, and sometimes I'm losing my voice and it sounds really weird, so I do apologise for that, but I can't wait until this passes to film this book haul because I don't know how long I'm going to have this for. So the first book I got was Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and it's like sort of a sci-fi retelling. It sounds like it's going to be such an amazing read. This is going to be my next read actually. I've got my bookmark in it already. I haven't started it yet though because I've been watching a couple episodes of the first season of American Horror Story, so when I get back in from work tonight I'm going to make a start on this one. The second book I got is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. As you guys know, if you watched my top 13 books of 2013, this was my favourite book of the year. I got a review copy of it, so I had to get myself a physical copy because this book is just so beautiful and I just really wanted to own a copy. And then I got The Dream Thieves by Maggie C. Barter. This is the second book in the Raven Cycle trilogy, I think it is, and I read that one in November 2012 and I've been really looking forward to the sequel, so I can't wait for this one. And then I got Hourglass by Myra McIntyre. This one's been on my wish list for ages, so I just decided to get it. I also got Arclight by Josie L. McQueen. Yet again, this is another one that's been on my wish list for ages, and since I had Christmas money to spend I just decided to treat myself to it. Just One Day is another one that's been on my wish list for ages, and like I said with the other ones, I had Christmas money to spend, so I just treated myself to some new books. And then I went into the works in Glasgow and I got 6 books in there. The first one I got is one I've already read, and it's The Attention Cure by Julie Kagawa. I got a review copy of this last year and I really loved this series, and I was waiting for it to come into the works because I knew it would because he had the first one, so I decided to snag this while we had it. I also got Fall of Night and Daylighters by Rachel Kane, which are books 14 and 15 in the Morganville series, so I now have the full set of the Morganville series and I finished them and it's just perfect. I also got The Iron Legends by Julie Kagawa, which is all the novellas and prequels and whatever to the Iron Fae series, so once I've finally finished that I'll get around to reading these. I also picked up Unsouled by Neil Shusterman, which is book 3 in the Unwind, I don't really know what it's called, but I know there's 4 books in it and this is book 3. I was looking for books 1 and 2 but they didn't have them, so I just decided to pick this one up because I knew I was going to get books 1 and 2 eventually. And I also got Sweetly by Jackson Pearce, which is the second book in her Fairy Tale retelling series, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I read Sisters Red in 2012 and I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited for this one. And then I bought myself a physical copy of Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I listened to the audiobook version in summer last year and I absolutely loved it, so I just wanted to own a copy because it's got like playlists and all that inside it, and I just really wanted to be able to look at all of them. So I will probably be rereading this at some point this year because I adore this book. And then I got Unhinged by A.G. Howard, which is the follow-up to Splintered. I read that one last year and I really loved A.G. Howard's Wonderland, so I was super excited to read this one because Morpheus is on the cover and I really love Morpheus. And this one was just so much better than the first one and it was just fantastic, and that ending was such a major cliffhanger and I just need book 3 right now. And then I went into one of my local charity shops and I picked up 3 books for £1. The first one I picked up is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I've seen the movie Ella Enchanted, but I've heard the book is really good, so I decided to pick this one up. I also picked up Girl Missing by Sophie Mackenzie. I read this one in high school, which was years ago, because I must have read it in like first year, and I remember really enjoying it, so I decided to just pick this one up. And I also picked up The Knife I'd Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I did try to read this one in 2012. I think I only made it about a chapter into it, so I'm thinking that if I have my own copy I'll be more likely to get through it, so fingers crossed. And then I decided to get Unravel Me by Taylor Maffei. I read Shatter last year and I loved it, so I decided to get this one since the 3rd book, Ignite Me, is out next month. So hopefully I'll get around to this one soon, because I just really want to read more about Juliet and Adam and find out if I'm going to love or hate Warner by the end of this one. And then yesterday my family, we all took a trip down to Livingston, and there's a Works outlet down there and they have so many more books than the Works in town. They still did the 3 for 5 deals, but they also had a ton of sale books. Unfortunately none of the sale books I liked apart from one. So I did get quite a few books while I was there. The first one I got is Don't Look Back by S.B. Hayes. This one sounds like it's going to be such a creepy thriller mystery novel, so I'm pretty excited for that one. And then I got If I Die by Rachel Vincent. This is book 5 in the Soul Screamer series. I absolutely loved this series when I read it all last year, so I'm trying to collect the full series so I can reread them whenever I feel like it. I also picked up The Vincent Brothers by Abby Kleins. I know this is the 2nd book in the series, but I needed another book to add on to my piles for 3 for £5, so I thought I'd just get this because I will no doubt be able to pick up the first one cheap somewhere else. I also got Monument 14 by Emmy Laybourne. This is a dystopian that I've had my eye on for ages, so I was pretty excited when I saw this one, so I'm super excited to read it. And then I found both Unwind and Unholy when I was in that Works, so I just decided to pick them up. So now I have the first 3 books in that series. I also picked up Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder, which is the 3rd book in the Study series, and Scent of Magic by Maria V. Snyder, which is the 2nd book in the Healer series. I need the 1st book in this series and the 1st book in this one, so hopefully they'll come into the Works in Glasgow. And I also picked up Deception by C.J. Redwine. I've heard a lot of good things about this series, so I have the 2nd book, so I need to get the 1st one very soon. I also picked up A Midsummer Night's Dream because it was only 99p and I really loved this series and it's hilarious, so I'll be picking this up when I need something light and fast to read. I also picked up City of Lost Souls because it was £3 in the Works, and now I finally have the full Mortal Instruments series of the books that are out just now. So I just need Clockwork Angel, and then I have all of the Infernal Devices books. Then I jumped into W.H. Smith and they had 3 for 2 on all children's and young adult books, which is a really bad thing because I always end up buying books. So the first one I got was Asylum by Madeline Rue. This is the first time I've ever seen the paperback of this, so I just knew I had to get it. It sounds like it's going to be such a creepy read, so I'm pretty excited. I also picked up Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. I have this out from the library, but I'm not getting through it as fast as I hoped I would, so I decided just to get my own copy and hopefully I'll be able to get through it a lot more. That's how far I've got into it so far, so hopefully I'll be able to get through it now I have my own copy. And the last book I got was Someone Else's Life by Katie Dale. I haven't heard anything about this book, but the cover caught my eye because it's really pretty, and it's about a girl who finds out that when her mother's died, that her mother isn't actually her mother, so it sounds like it's going to be such a great read. The links to all the Goodreads pages for these books will be in the description box below because I didn't have time to really describe what they're all about because there are far too many. So if you're looking for a better description of them, the links are all in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of my book haul, and I'll be back soon with part 2. Bye everyone.